Welcome to the Old Callahan and Boskull family. Here we're going to have a short video blog about kitchen savvy tips. Some of which Karen and I are going to breeze over, but I'm going to pass you over to Karen and she'll start it off.
Okay, hi everyone. So we like to trade food, so if you've got any peelings in the kitchen, whether it be from carrots, potatoes, food what is going off, or grass clippings, what we do, we put all them in a little carrier bag because we have some friends who have chickens. So what we do, we trade them for eggs, so basically we get free eggs all the time. Bargain.
Chicken likes things like because they can pick through it.
The other thing we like to do is chilli. Each time we use a chilli in our cooking, we've just started in the last few months experimenting, and rather than throwing the seeds away, actually replanting them so we can create our own little chilli farm.
Which are free seeds.
We've got this so far. As you can see, they're coming up nice and green, so hopefully later in the few months of summer
They'll need a small canopy on the top to get them going really, but
it's going to do its magic, we hope.
It certainly is.
Lots of chilli. The other thing we like to do is when we've got leftovers, if it's not enough for another meal, or you think, oh, we don't really want to eat that again, Google. We love Google.
Google's our friend.
Google's our friend. You can find 101, 100,001 recipes for different ideas to use your leftover ingredients for. It might be a pie. I've tried on that various different lasagna recipes.
Or you could make them into pasties. You know,
like little calzone folded over pasties.
Nice little lunchtime break meal. You know, they're easy.
Job's good.
You like that.
The other thing is dripping. If we're cooking a Sunday roast or any other meat joint, whether it not be for a Sunday, but in the week, as you've cooked your joint, when it's getting...
Don't throw that oil away, because this makes really good gravy for your Sunday dinners or any gravy dinner. It's full of flavour because it's out of the meat, the marrow bone and everything, and everyone might wince away, but it's not. It's great stuff, and it doesn't go off either.
How I accumulated this was, once I'd cooked the meat, I skimmed off the fat before we used the juices to create the gravy, and that was the end result. I've always labelled it, and then I put it in the fridge after it's cooled, and Bob's your
use it again.
Free stock cubes.
Again, another one we've got for your cheeses. As I take a pack up to work, we always get out slightly small pieces of cheeses that's not quite enough to put on your sandwiches, but you're like, what do I do with it? Well, what we like to do with it is crumble it up into a bag similar to this, or into another container, make it into fingernail size crumble sizes, freeze it. This makes great toppings for your lasagna or your quick snack for cheese on toast, or
anything.
If you want to make sandwiches, i.e. with your sandwich maker, great. You get all the different flavours in there, and it does bring them out.
Every
really
time
good.
You think you were going to throw your little leftovers away because there's not enough to do
don't do it.
Don't do it. Put it in the freezer.
With all the rest of your cheese crumbs, it does, trust me, make great lasagna.
The other thing we like, which is one of Matt's favourite, is baked beans, but good old fashioned everyday savor baked beans.
Yes.
Never buy the expensive ones.
Never.
If you want to do what we're about to tell you now, because the cheap ones
are brilliant.
They have more sauce in them.
They do indeed.
They do. So what we like to do is any sauce which is in your cupboard which you would like to flavour your beans with, i.e. barbecue, chilli, cheese out of the freezer to make cheesy beans.
You've got to. My favourite is barbecue beans.
We add it to them while it's on the hob. Give it a little stir while it's cooking through, and then you've got your flavoured beans without having to buy the really expensive cans of ready-made flavoured beans, and it tastes so much better.
Baked beans, I'd always say buy the cheapest, smartest price ones, because you can do so much more with them other than your branded ones. Don't get me wrong, branded ones are good, but not as good as what you can do for yourself at home.
The other thing is our little trick, or my little trick, is often to pep up your recipes it's nice to use your garlic oil or chilli oil. However, for a little bottle they're quite expensive to buy, so what we tend to do is we buy the cheapest olive oil, and whether it be herbs out the garden, chilli, garlic, whatever.
They are easy enough to grow as well.
We add that into it, leave it to infuse to let the flavours come together, and that's our flavoured oil.
Herbs you can
fraction of the price.
The herbs you can even grow on your windowsill. Your kitchen windowsill doesn't need to be big, doesn't need to be small, but they'll quite happily grow there.
And when it comes to herbs, what I like to do, as the herbs are coming, you've used them and you're running a bit out of ideas and are starting to go off, rather than throw them in the bin, the other thing to do, which olive oil is good for, we've got some freezer bags here. I will put some in my pestle and mortar or the blender. I blend the olive oil and the herbs to create a nice smooth liquid, put it into the freezer bag or an ice cube tray, whichever you've got to hand, and then leave it in the freezer, and next time you want to put some herb infused oil into your dishes, you've got them there, and it saves wasting money on throwing your herbs in the bin.
Another tip that you probably saw on earlier blogs was my vacuum pump. Well, this comes quite in handy when you see on the teleshop channels these vacuum storage for your clothes, and said the pumps that come with them are rubbish.
It's ideal for a lady when you want to fit more in your wardrobe, trust me.
But I'll let you know a little bit more of that in the later blogs.
Thank you, bye!
Thank you, see you now.